Welcome to the Register's Report. My name is John Buckley. I'm the Register of Deeds for Plymouth County. This show is about Plymouth County real estate. This show is being taped in January, but we'll be talking about our December numbers at the Registry of Deeds, the numbers of recordings. December is an interesting month because it is the end of the calendar year, and it is also halfway through our fiscal year. So let's get right to the records. I have a report on the records of recordings. I have a great guest, Christine Richards, from our Information Systems Department, who's going to give a presentation on how you can search our records online. We're going to talk about some county history as well as some Plymouth colony history, this being the 400th anniversary of the arrival of the Mayflower. So let's get right to deeds. Sales of property, there are 1,157 sales of property in December, more than the 957 in November, 35% more than last December. For the 12 months of 2020, deeds are up 3%. You're also going to see an image of sales for all 27 communities in Plymouth County, all the way from Plymouth and Brockton being the largest, down to Plimpton, usually the smallest number of sales per community, but all 27 communities of Plymouth County have sales of property every month. The real story of 2020 were mortgages. Our mortgages have broken records. The number of mortgages recorded exceeded anything in the last 10 years, and every month they exceed the previous month. There were 3,517 mortgages recorded in December, up from 3,161 in November, 46% higher than last December. And for the full calendar year, again, 46% higher in mortgages than last year. A lot of people have taken advantage of low interest rates to save themselves some money, to shorten the length of their loan. I've noticed some of the ads still running on the radio telling you if you've refinanced months ago, you might want to consider it again because the rates continue to go down. But keep your eye out on that because, again, saving money or shortening the term of your mortgage is a great thing. We also follow foreclosure issues very closely. We have since the crisis in 2008, although the mortgage industry right now with foreclosures is very, very low. There has been a foreclosure moratorium in place during the COVID-19 era. There were only 6 foreclosure deeds in December, slightly more than the 5 in November, but 75% less than last December. And for the whole calendar year of 2020, the number of foreclosure deeds are down 49%. We're going to keep our eye on that because the main foreclosure moratorium has expired, although the authorized loans will still continue. And I noticed the other day that President Biden is making an effort to also extend the moratorium. Again, foreclosure notices, which is the first step in the process, are also very low based on the moratorium. Only 20 foreclosure notices in December, more than in November, which were only 6. 62% less than last December, and for the year, down 66%. Also, you're going to see a listing of foreclosures in orders of notice by community, by all of our 27 communities. There's a lot of zeros there. And again, we haven't seen that over previous years. It's basically because of the moratorium. There's been a huge amount of electronic recording of documents. 80% of our recorded land documents come in over the internet. 50% of our land court documents come in over the internet. Our trading room is closed to the public until further notice. And I have a great guest coming on the show. Coming up segment 2, Christine Richards from our AT department, talking about how to search our records. So we'll see you in the next segment. Welcome back to the Register's Report. My name is John Buckley. I'm the Register of Deeds of Plymouth County. In this segment of the show, we always do something educational in nature. We've had surveyors, appraisers, many realtors, many people involved in all aspects of the real estate business. We thought it would be timely and helpful if we took the time, once again, as we've done before, to remind you how to search your records. With our 3 offices closed to the public since March, a lot of people that research records have had to be hands-on and do it from their home or offices. And it's a great thing that we have all of our real estate recordings from 1685 to present for the Plymouth County records, from 1620 to 1685 for the Plymouth Colony records, and on the other side of the registry, the land court documents from the beginning of land court 1899 to present. So I have a great guest with me today, Christine Richards, who is the department head of our ISA department, Information System, and she's our Information System Administrator, otherwise known as IT, who's going to take us through a exercise in how to search our records. Welcome again, Christine.
Thank you very much. I always welcome an appearance here so that I can share with the public all of my knowledge on how to search records.
So I know you have some slides.
I do.
And again, based upon the 1620 colony records, we are the first registry of deeds in America. We're very proud of the history that we're part of. We have a lot of people searching both for real estate purposes as well as historical purposes. And a lot of those calls end up on Christine's desk.
Yes, my voicemail is always full. So our first slide that you're going to, or the first place that you're going to come to when you visit our PlymouthDeeds.org page and you click on Search Our Records, it's going to bring you to a website, and it's called TitleView.org/PlymouthDeeds. That is the home page for our search records. At the very top of the page, you'll see some menu items. Search Home, that's where you are now. Search Criteria, Search Options, and some other menu items that will help you along. Just beneath that is where you're going to start your search. And that is where you would put in a name, and it starts you off right at the recorded land name search. And we'll get into the different indexes. However, on every homepage that you'll see here, on the right-hand side gives you some search instructions, some imaging instructions. If you don't have Adobe Reader, you will need it for this site, and a form for how to get a certified copy for mail-in. Lastly, on the right-hand side on the bottom is the property fraud alert that we're going to get into a little bit later, but that is going to be really helpful for a lot of people, and you're going to want to stay tuned for and hear about that.
So let me just back up a little bit.
Sure.
So when you go on your laptop or your computer, it's PlymouthDeeds.org that you search, and then it'll come up, search records. You click on the search records, and that gets you to this page.
Yep, correct. So once you're on this page, you want to go up top and you want to click on Search Criteria. And that is going to show you all of our indexes. And if on our next slide, you'll see the search criteria, you'll see the drop-down box that you're going to come to, and it shows you the different menu items. So the registry is separated into a couple of different offices that we call it. We have the recorded land, which makes up about 87% of the property in Plymouth County. We also have registered land court, which is the other 13%. But you want to start your search in name search, although if you have a book and page, right under there, you have a book and book search. You can shoot right into that and put a book and a page in there. The unindexed book search, that is for if you don't care about seeing an index, you just want to put it in a book and page and view the image. You may do that. I would suggest only using the book search, however. Date range. A lot of people use our date range if they want to search records for a specific week. Or for a specific day. You can search also by document search. Property search, actually that is fairly new in the last 10 years to be able to do a property search. That's probably used a lot because people they see a house for sale and they decide, I want to look it up. So, and all they have is a property search. So you can look it up by the address. Our Old Colony books, also known as Plymouth Colony books. There is a link there. However, we've added a more intuitive searching down at the bottom of that drop-down menu. So we'll get to the Plymouth Colony records. We also have, under recorded land, lastly, our grantor and grantee indexes from 1685 to 1969. Those are actually the images, the real images of all of our index books. So if you're doing research all the way back to 1685 and you want to see the actual images and how they were written out, you can go in there, you can look through the books. So that's something that we don't really see often in a lot of registries, the ability to look at the actual images. And those are searchable indexes. On the right-hand side, under Registered Land Court, we have similar menus, and we're going to go into these, but similar menus with the name search. Land Court has, instead of a book and page, it has a certificate search where you can put in a certificate number. In a similar fashion, you have a date range, a document search, property search in the same way. We have some other miscellaneous menu items that aren't used often by the public. They're used more often by title examiners. Also on the right-hand side, we have the registered land plans, which is also known as the court case number search. In land court, the registered land plan happens to also be the court case number. So back on the left-hand side, if you're looking for your plan and you happen to have a book and page or number, or even you can go into your street.
Which would be in the description of your deed.
In the description of the deed.
Yeah,
Yep,
usually
correct.
about 3/4 of the way down the page.
Yes, right at the end of your description, actually right in the middle, you'll see the book and page or a plan number. If you see a plan number and it says it's 117 of 86, you'll want to go into the plan number search and put in 116 and click search and just look for that year. And we'll go into the advanced menu item next. Under Plymouth Colony under our Plymouth Colony records, so we have a name search and a book search under our Plymouth Colony records. We've just recently indexed those. We've transcribed those indexes. They're all searchable, and those go back from 1620 to 1685. So if you're looking to do some genealogical research, that is a great place to start. So on our next image, we have our advanced menu. So after you've put in a name or even a date range, and you want to narrow it down a little bit, you can click on the advanced button, which is to the right of the search button, and you can narrow your search down. So the first section is called the register. we have that in there for our assessors so that they can run their documents. But the one item that in there that I would recommend is all deeds. And what I've done is I've put in the all deeds section is all foreclosure deeds, master deeds, unit deeds, and regular deeds. So if somebody would like to run all of the deeds for, say, a month or a week or the last 6 months for a specific town, they can do that using all deeds. So it's all inclusive. So you don't have to go to the next section in document type and pick each specific deed type. But if you do, say, want to look at just deeds, or you want to look for your homestead, or you want to look for a specific document type, you can narrow your search down in that way. If you want to do a search using towns, you can do your search and narrow it down to a specific town. I would caution that if you are doing a search and you are narrowing it down, be careful, because there are a lot of document types that are not indexed by town, and they don't have a town attached to them. Discharges, municipal lien certificates, declarations of trust. So there are a lot of different document types that don't have a town. So you'd be missing those if you put a town in. But in this advanced menu, you can also narrow it down by date. And I would definitely recommend that if you are, say, searching for somebody, you're searching for John Smith, and you haven't narrowed it down by year or town, then you're searching many, many years, almost 350 years for John Smith. And you'd likely run into a issue doing that large of a search.
So do you want to just take a break and give your contact information?
Sure.
Because I advise everyone to just try it out. Go on our website, PlymouthDeeds.org, go to search records, and you'll be amazed at how fast you can learn how to search. And for most people, you're only looking for a copy of your own deed. It's an easy search once you've played around with it. Yep. And if you're really stuck, there's some advice on our website as to what the problems might be. And you can always call Christine as a last resort.
You can. And my direct phone number is 508-830-9286. And my email address is richards@plymouthdeeds.org.
I'm sorry, I'll let you keep going.
It's quite all right. So our last two images we have our search results. So once you have a search results, you can click on the document that you're interested in, and on the right-hand side, it gives you a little bit more detail about that document. So once you see the detail of the document, there's also a tab there that says View Images. So on the next image you'll see, it'll show you how to view your image. So you click on View Image, a pop-up window will open up, and you maximize that, and you can use the toolbar to actually view the image. So that is where you would get any other additional information. So that is how you would view your deed. You will see unofficial copy watermark on your deed and on any document that you view on our website, and that is by default. So I'm just going to back up now.
Sure.
So that's our search site, and really once you're in it, it's very intuitive, and every menu you go into, all of those steps apply in the same way.
There are a lot of miscellaneous plans that we'll put up here. Do you want to describe some of those? We just recently added, which are a couple assets which are usually used by title examiners, so certainly genealogists would be looking at those.
Sure, absolutely. So back on the PlymouthDeeds.org site, if you go into when you click on search records, you're going to see a link that says special plans menu. And once you click on there, you're going to see a variety of different plans that have a special meaning to them. We have currently put up, well, we're currently working on some harbor plans, and we've put up our atlas, our 1879 atlas. We've put up our 1903 atlas. So they're really quite interesting to look at, and there's an index in there as well to find what you're looking for.
And I know these presentations are usually an hour. We're running out of time. Can you quickly just talk about the fraud alert?
Yes, the fraud alert that you're going to find on that home page of the search page. So you sign up. You can also call me about this, but you want to sign up. If anything gets recorded at the registry under your name or any of the names that you list on there, we'll send you an email. We'll let you know. And it's not just if it's fraud, but if anything gets recorded, if your discharge gets recorded and you want to know about it, you'll find out about it.
Great. So normally, I guess normal times in our operations, also normal times for most people, we run a monthly training session, a free hands-on training session in a training room with everyone hands-on a laptop. When we get back up to allowing people in the building, we'll be doing that again. But in the meantime, I advise you just to go on and try it. See if you can start with your own individual property. Maybe do a property search from a neighbor down the street just to get the hang of it. And again, try and fail. It'll work. I know it's worked for many thousands of people that have searched our site. People are very thankful that our registry has almost every single document under our control available on the internet. And if you really get stuck, again, call Christine Richards at our IT department, and she could probably give you a couple tricks to solve your issue. So thanks for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great. Welcome back to the Register's Report. Again, my name is John Buckley. I'm the Register of Deeds for Plymouth County. We had a great guest in the last segment, Christine Richards, who did a good job within a very short time allowed to her on how to search our records. My advice again to you is if you want to look up what's happening with your property, whether a discharge has been recorded, looking at other properties in the neighborhood, just get on our website, PlymouthDeeds.org, hit search records, and take an effort. And I think you'll find that you can do that. And if you're really stuck, again, call Christine Richards in our office in Plymouth, 508-830-9286. So in this part of the segment, we always tell a story. We've had some holidays that we've gone through, New Year's Day on the 1st, Martin Luther King Day on the 18th, Inauguration Day yesterday at the taping of the show on the 20th, coming up National Hot Chocolate Day. So we always like to talk about some of our county records. We're doing those in relation to the very historical events happening as we speak. One of the former presidents, Grover Cleveland, the 22nd and 24th president, had contact and experience within Plymouth County. He was known for his enjoyment of the outdoors. He liked to fish and hunt, and particularly he liked to go down to Manomet Bluffs. He actually bought property there, and although he didn't build on it, he later built across the canal. He still is a very important part of our history. After he had won his election in 1884, he then lost his election to Benjamin Harrison. Part of it was a challenge to his lifestyle. He actually is the only president that lost a presidential election and came back and was reelected. You're going to hear a lot of references to that because the most recent president we had, President Trump, is talking about trying to do the same thing. Next record again is a very famous American president who has connections to Plymouth County. Abraham Lincoln was a well-recognized president. We all saw on the inauguration and some of the events around it, visits to the Lincoln Memorial, one of the most beautiful monuments we have in America. Abraham Lincoln was a president that led us through some very, very tough times, particularly in the Civil War, when he fought to continue the Union. He also filed the Emancipation Proclamation, which freed American slaves. He had relatives, when they first came to the United States, settled in Hingham, Massachusetts. They came from Hingham, England. So Abraham Lincoln's distant ancestor, Samuel Lincoln, came from Hingham, England, aboard a ship, the John and Dorothy, in 1637, very active in the Hingham community, including the involvement in building Hingham's first ship church. He had his dwelling house built in what is now known as North Street. There is a Lincoln monument over there on North Street. At the time, Hingham was actually part of Suffolk County. It is not a part of the Plymouth County records, although with our great friend up in Suffolk County, Assistant Register of Deeds, Tom Ryan, he has provided us with a document of this so we can tell that great story. And last but not least in our presidential story is a Massachusetts president, John Fitzgerald Kennedy. His grandfather, John Honey Fitzgerald, owned property in Hull on the Itasca Ave in Hull. Honey Fitz, as they called him, was a member of the Governor's Council, Boston Common Council, somewhat a version of the City Council, elected to Congress, became the first American-born Catholic elected to be mayor of Boston, served as mayor from 1906 to 7. He was defeated for re-election and then returned to office. He is maybe best well known because his daughter, Rose Elizabeth Fitzgerald, married Joseph P. Kennedy in 1914. They were the parents of John F. Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States, Senator Ted Kennedy, and Senator Robert F. Kennedy. It's quite a proud part of Hull's history that they'll share with you whenever you're out there. And we also, every month, tell the story of one of our colony records. The story of our colony records is very important, particularly as we are making the turn from 2020 to 2021. Most of the events scheduled for 2020 were not allowed to proceed because of the COVID-19 issues. They will be brought forward in 2021. In November of 2021 will be a celebration of America's first Thanksgiving. We love to tell these stories because these primary sources that we have the colonial records at a vault upstairs in our registry in Plymouth, allow people to recognize the impact that Plymouth Colony had on the foundations for America. This particular one is a will, a very important part of the probate record here in the United States, and it was the will of Miles Standish. He came over originally in the Mayflower. He was a person required to keep civil order within the colony, as well as protection from outside of the colony. Very much skilled in warfare when he came to the Plymouth colony, to America. And he left his will. In his will, his inventory included a dwelling house, outhouses, oxen, mares, colts, sheep, 14 swine, muskets, carbines, Bibles, and the history of the world and Turkish history, because he had been to Turkey. And he also allotted money to his indentured servant, John Irish. When things are better, the Plymouth Colony records will be on display again at the Registry of Deeds, and we invite you to come down and see them. I want to thank Lorna Green Baker, Christine Richards for helping me put this show together from our office. I want to thank Emma Reardon and Isaac Cabral from Brockton Cable Access for helping me produce this show. It's our 123rd show here with Brockton Cable Access. We get a copy of this show, it runs on Brockton Cable, and we send it out to cable providers throughout Plymouth County to share with people information about what for most people is their most valuable asset. So we'll see you next month. Thank you for watching this show.